At first blush, the other two gentlemen's accounts might seem similar enough under the requisite Vanderbilt analysis, but that is because the government is relying upon its own judgmental views and misapprehension of BDSM. Now, while that BDSM may be viewed as an unorthodox sexual practice, it does not include homicide, and it certainly did not include any of the other acts proffered by the government. When looking at each piece of evidence, this court must evaluate the other alleged acts in light of the following standard. The evidence must be relevant under MRE 402, must be offered for a proper purpose under MRE 404B, and the probative value of the evidence must not be substantially outweighed by unfair prejudice. Of course, the government has the burden of proving all of these elements. Mr. Latunski is accused of killing the victim with a large knife by stabbing him in the back of the neck and then cutting his throat. He is also accused of removing the victim's testicles after death. But neither of the alleged acts have anything to do with removing body parts, cutting or injuring a person, or anything remotely close to murder. And despite what the government dwells on in its response, this case is not about bondage or fear. It's about allegations of murder and mutilation. And Mr. Bacon's death was not part of any sexual practice. Now, despite the government's allegations, there is no evidence of violence or of Mr. Latunski cutting or even threatening to cut the other individuals with a knife. And in People v. Sabin, the Supreme Court held that there must be such concurrence of common features that the various acts are naturally to be explained as caused by a general plan. So there must be some connection between the various acts. And yet that is not the case here. Merely engaging in a sexual practice that includes bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, or sadism and masochism, that some may believe is unorthodox, but one that is not as uncommon as the government wants the court and the jury to believe, and it is absolutely not indicative of a tendency toward murder or mutilation.